Afternoon, guys. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sitting in my shed, and I'm back at the allotment. This is day 3. Well, I have a day 2, but my battery died on my phone. So I'm gonna kind of blend these 2 videos together. So it's day 2 and it's day 3. And yeah, it's a lovely sunny Monday afternoon. I had a day off work because me and my partner just moved into a new property, and I've had a few days off work to get settled in. I'm very tired and very stressed, but I'm here at the allotment. All that's left me now, I went through those gates, it's all just disappeared, and now I'm just gonna carry on. Yeah, let's get to it. Good morning. This is day 2 on my allotment. I'm going to today continue digging out all my beds and just try and be a little bit more productive than I was last week. When I'm done, I will give you a little tour of what I've done so far. God, everybody talks about tours. A tour of my allotment, tour of my allotment. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to give you a tour. I'll show you if I feel like showing you. This is just the beginning process. So yeah, just going to dig out my plot some more. Very tired this morning. I feel very puffy this morning. But it's a lovely morning. It's overcast. Wind's calm. Happy days. See you later. I got to come down here today. I know I said I wasn't going to dig my beds over, but I don't know what the soil's like here. Just going through the compost, all that topsoil that was in there, it's filled with plastic. So ideally, if I knew what the soil was like, I would do a no dig. I would just put an extra thick layer of mulch on top of my beds and just crack on. But I need to know what's going on. I don't know there could be membrane down there, glass. I found glass. I found a skeleton of some kind of mammal. Maybe I'll show you that later, unless you're a bit squeamish. So yeah, so I'm just giving it a spade step dig over once, turning it over, and then just leaving it because I'm not doing a double dig. And then once I've dug all the beds, I will try and find out how I can get some organic matter, either like leaf mould or well rotted manure, but it just depends. We'll see how we go. You're in a new spot today, so stay there. Thanks. This grass is thick. 1 second. Don't know if you can see. This is the quality of my soil. It's got some stones in there. It crumbles away very nicely. If I squeeze it, it does reform. I think that is good quality loamy soil. Loamy, I don't think is natural, I think it's just loam. But no plastic so far, which is good. And very little worm activity. I'm not sure why that is. Could it be those pesticides have been used, or just it hasn't had any organic matter put into it for a long while, nothing for the worms to eat, or maybe the worms just haven't found it yet. But I think I found one so far. Worms are good. We like worms. Okay, so this sad little strawberry patch that's right in my way, I'm going to put around this very elegantly dead level climbing frame. I'm going to dig this out in the middle, and I'm just going to dot the strawberries around the edge, and then obviously whatever I grow in the middle I'll grow up it, and happy days. But yeah, I think found a place for the strawberries, so I'm quite pleased about that. Let's get digging. As I've been going along, got my trusty bin, and I've just been collecting all plastic and rubbish that's in the ground. So, oh no, I lost a bit. Because yes, having any of this in here is not what I want. Yeah. To be fair, for such a big space, actually it is quite a lot. I might need another paint can. Back to digging. Got more bottles. I can shake a stick out. Look at this, it's filled with plastic bottles. Weed roots. They're going to go in a separate compost bin. All weeds, grass. Or maybe not the grass. The grass I clip can just go in with my normal compost, but if I pull up any grass, roots and all, I'll put them in the compost bin separate to everything else. Try and get organised. See how I've designed my beds? They're not too wide, so I can basically reach all angles of the bed from anywhere that I'm standing. There's no point being overstretching. I don't want to. Eventually, I don't want to be able to. I don't want to have to walk on the beds. So yeah, little tip: 1.5 meters, they say, maximum width for a bed. That way you don't have to walk across the soil, and it can just stay nice and fluffy. Eventually it'll stay nice and fluffy once I get it at that point, but yeah, top tip. Maybe future, more experienced Charlie would be like, oh, you should have dealt with the weeds then, you're gonna kick yourself in a year's time. Maybe I should have tried to remove all the weeds I can now. But hey, I'm learning. Make mistakes, you learn from them. Hopefully, most of the time, not always. This is a perennial weed, or something similar. Look at the size of that root. Now, even if I was to get all of this, but I just left this one little tip, at the whole plant, it would grow again. Quite impressed that I think this is the first time I've ever got a whole weed out. Top marks for me. Gotta give yourself a pat on the back, ain't ya? Just wanted to correct myself. Don't like using the word weeds because that implies that there are bad plants. There's no such thing as bad plant, apart from maybe invasive species. Yeah, like Japanese knotweed, giant hogweed. They're bad. Call your local authority if you find those in your garden. But everything else, from your thistles to the daffodils to the creeping buttercups and that kind of stuff, they're all just perennial wildflowers, native to this country, who do their job, help the insects, providing food, and they're generally good, but they're unsightly to our crisp, clear cut, pristine gardens. So that's why we don't like them. But we need to get out of that habit. So I'll slap myself if I say the W word again. But yeah, that's just all they are. They're wildflower perennials. That's it. It's not their fault they're good at their job. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got what I've got to work with. It's amazing I've got these frames. Is it best quality? No. Is it usable and functional? Yes. And it's not straight, it's a little bit bent, and it kind of makes the bed look a little bit uneven and wonky, but it doesn't matter. It's a vegetable plot. In the summer, you can just see it. When I've planted all my sweet peas, all my beans, I'm gonna grow some cucumbers this year, I think. I'm gonna grow it all vertically, and when it's all filled and it's blazing with colour and all the foliage and the green and it's all bushy, it'll look amazing. Right now, it looks a bit bare, but that's okay. It's not a formal garden. 3 beds down, 7 to go, possibly. Now, where there's some brassicas, I'll come show you. Hold on. So I marked out my next 2 beds. They're a little bit wider, but my path is wider down the centre. With these, I am definitely going to pull up these brassicas first, just to make things easier for myself. I should have done it before I even start marking out, really, but hey ho, you live and learn. There's no set way to do anything. But yeah, this soil looks quite worked. There's always metal bits. There's a little tent peg, useful. Add it to the pile. Yeet. Okay, and I just realised, because I'm not a professional photographer, videographer, and my phone's going to die soon, so I'm just going to cut the recording here for the day, and next week I will show you what I've gotten up to. Right guys, have a good day, and yeah, I'll give you an update on what the plot looks like next week, because my phone's about to die. See you next time, kids. So, as you can see, the first half of the beds, and all my climbers here are done too. Now I'm just going to prepare the far end. I've got a plan, know what I'm doing. The only thing is I'm a little bit OCD, and I've done it, so it's my own fault. And I don't know if you can tell, but this area is not very symmetrical. And I know I'm being a bit fussy, but I do like things nice and neat and tidy, even though it's going to be all natural. I'm not doing too much to it, but at least I want the beds to be neat. So I've brought with me some pegs and some nice orange string line so I don't fall over it, so I can see it. And I'm just gonna mark out the next beds and get digging and turn over the soil. Tying off a bit of string took far longer than it needed to. So obviously I'm far more skilled at digging than I am with string lines, because it took me about 10 minutes to put a square string line together. It's not even big. It's like 1.25 meters by 1.5 meters. But then it took me 2 minutes to dig around, so you can see where my skills lie. But taking that extra little bit of effort doesn't matter. Well, what's the saying? Rome wasn't built in a day, and that looks pretty good. I should have asked my missus if it was all right to leave the house like this in my boots. I think if I'd asked her, she probably would have hurt my feelings and I might have cried. So that's probably a good thing I didn't ask her. What do we reckon? I feel bad for digging these up, but I want the space and I want to start from fresh. I'll put them in the ground. Definitely an onion. It's a bit funny shaped. I'll put them in the ground somewhere. It could be an onion, it could be a shallot. It looks a bit too big for a shallot actually. Who knows? We'll see when it's done growing. And I'll replant it. I'll put it back in the bed after I've dug the bed over. Again, just want to check to make sure what's underneath this soil. Less yapping, more working. Back to it. Thank you. I think I've got a mixture. That last one I showed you was just one big chunky bulb. And then this one's just little clusters together. I might split them up. So I think these are shallots. Yeah. Not right. Oh yeah, that's oniony. Oh lovely. Look at that root system. Fabulous. Fantastic. Now, everybody's seen Looney Tunes. Well, people of my generation have. And you leave a rake. I don't know if you can see it. You leave a rake like that. I'm going to stand on that. That's smacking me right in the head, the bum. And also, this scarifying rake is pretty sharp, and it's not something I want to step on or fall on. So, just turn it that way. It's not hard, but so many people, myself, forget to do it all the time. I've given up with the string line. Just doing some measuring, don't mind me. So that's 230 as well. I started making my beds. I thought, hang on, I'm not measuring to anything, so what I think is 50 centimeters gap is a little bit of baloney. So what I should have done, set up a string line, dead center, going down the middle of the bed, and then accurately I can measure the distance on either side for the new beds. So it's all symmetrical, because that was the aim of bringing in my pegs. So I didn't start off going symmetrical, but I'm going to now. Slowly, slowly. I make life very hard for myself. Oh. How's your battery doing? You're not gonna die on me today, are you? Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure that phone wasn't gonna die. Let's carry on. Oh, see, I'm a sucker for anything with a bit of colour, and it probably might bite me in the bum, but along my paths, like I said before, I'm not having bark. But why can't we have any perennial wildflowers? Why not? I mean, they're great for insects and pollinators who are coming out now in the warmer weather. And I think stuff like this, just dotted around the paths, there's nothing wrong with that. Tough as old boots. And if it gets a bit rampant, then I'll just hand weed it out. But that's it. I'm gonna go plant these in strategically along my paths in my already dug border. Yeah, look at all this bit of colour here. There's these really dainty, I don't know what any of these are, but I'm quite fortunate to work with, well, technically he's my boss, the head gardener on the estate that I work on. And the man is so knowledgeable, so I'll show him this, hopefully he sees this, and he can tell me what these little beauties are. Yeah. It's okay. I think I'm weird too. Oh, I just planted my first weeds. Now, look at this space. Obviously, it'd be amazing if it was all lush and green and it followed all the way around. It was very picturesque. Now, what I've managed to put in doesn't look like much, but wouldn't it look better if there was just a bit of colour, whether it be green, purple, white, and just out the way in the corners. Hopefully these little guys will just enjoy the sun, the quiet, and grow. How do I turn this camera around? Nope. I'll turn you around. Right, I'm getting sidetracked, so let's go back to digging. One thing before I do start digging, sidetracked once again, I have thought about what I want to do with this, because it turns out this is all mine. This mound is my soil. Lovely topsoil, riddled with native wildflower perennials, and I'm not going to be putting that anywhere near my beds. So what I can do, because I can still have bonfires up until the end of March, I'm going to well, every so often I'll just rake all this off, strip it down, and I'll just burn it. And then what I burn, I'll use as potash. No plastic. I don't burn any plastics or treated woods or anything like that. I'll just burn just natural greenery, woody material. And best thing about it, it'll grow back for next year for more potash. And in between that, I might just dig little pockets and just have some, I'll be a bit too sunny for ferns, maybe some Rebecca. I might put some bulbs in there, some summer flowering bulbs, some winter flowering bulbs, spring bulbs, and just turn it into like a little hill garden. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. God, I impress myself sometimes. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting in your personal space now. Give me a minute. These, I do like listening to these other allotmenteers. And this old boy that came round, and he was like, oh, it looks all tidy what you're doing there. He was like, what's that? You're doing a bit of edging? Oh, you know what will happen? You'll have the grass all in your beans, and the poor beans, they'll struggle. I was like, yeah. Well, just got to keep on top of it. He was like, oh, you leave it a week though, and that's it, they'll have it. I was like, well, I want to give it a go. With age does come a lot of wisdom, and he is probably right. But I feel if I keep on top of it, obviously being young, God, someone else knows better than me. No, shut up. You've got 50 more years of experience gardening on an allotment. Nah, mate, I've been doing it 5 minutes. I know more than you. But I'll just see how it goes. I think I'll be able to keep on top of the grass. I just got to clip it and cut it back. Keep my edging nice, and it should just be tidy, hopefully. But yeah, let me get back to what I was doing. I found a potato. But I did find earlier the roundest stone. I don't know where I put it. I kept it, obviously, but it's so proverbial, spherical. And this is a good little spud. I might keep this in the shed, but the thing is though, people warn me about just getting any spuds, letting them sprout and planting them, because things might already be riddled with pest diseases, and maybe more susceptible to diseases. So people always said to get your spuds from a registered supplier, some like a proper business. I know the clock, is it the clock tower in Enfield? They have a lot of spuds. But yeah, so I don't know whether or not I should put this in the ground or not. But I'll keep it. I might even put it in like a little bag. If I got a bag or a pot, I'll just grow it there and just see what happens. Might get a crop from it. It's getting a bit dark now. About the time I popped home for some tea. Is this ever going to end? Gosh. Let's get in here. Ooh, right, so I'll just show you what I've done. Go an hour. You got to watch an hour's worth of this. God, how boring. No. I'll shorten it down for you all. So all these beds, oh gosh, it's so dark you can barely see. So I've got my paths, try to keep them 50 centimeters, so half a meter bit bigger spacing as we go down. Got a little path either side, and then a larger spacing here. Yeah, it's a bit skew width, please ignore that. And then that's my last bed to dig out, and then this end is going to be a horseshoe shaped, just for space. Not having all, not I'm not a farmer. I want to be able to invite people around and for them to have space to stand around or sit down and enjoy my allotment, enjoy all my hard work. But yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I got these onions, spring onions, shallots. There's a selection of different types here. I can't even bloody see them. Oh, there you go. So I got those in the ground. It's my first plants. So I planted weeds and onions, but the onions were already planted and I just picked them out and then put them back in again. But yeah, until next time, hopefully, I will have all the beds dug out next weekend. And that'll be day 4 on the allotment. So I'm going to put today's video and last week's video together to make one. It's kind of cheating, I'm sorry, but phone died. And yeah, so don't be confused if you see an outfit change compared to my fashionable self last week to my getting dressed in the dark version today. But yeah, so I will pack up and go have some chicken casserole, I think. See you later, kids.